What is going on, guys? It's NoodleHouse here. We are back on Chaos Child, and it's now November 4th, the last day of the New Generation Madness. And I just found out who we think it is, and I was surprisingly correct. The roof is normally a place for students to laugh and talk, but under the cold moonlight, the empty benches seem silent and sad. Game? There we go. Kurizu looked at the benches and shivered once more. It wasn't just because of the cold, it was because she had realised this place was truly empty. Of course it was. No one was allowed here at this hour. It was an isolated place where the warm light didn't reach, only the cold light did. No matter what happened here, the rest of the world wouldn't care. It wouldn't exist outside of this place. It's too perfect, maybe. It was so perfect for her that it was almost sad, Kurizu thought. While Kurizu was waiting for her to arrive, she hadn't been thinking about the case. Strangely, she'd been thinking about her family and friends. What had she always said to her family before she left to come here in the morning? Did they smile? The younger students who helped with the student council's work. The talk she'd had with her classmates about the latest fads. The brief fights in the lunchroom, forgotten as soon as the bell rang to tell them to go out to class. Each time she started to lapse too deep in her memories, a cold wind would blow and pull her back to reality. And she'd realise something, with a self-abasing laugh. She knew it. The reason Nono wasn't thinking about the case was because that part of her was sure she already knew everything. If she asked, she would get the fatal answer that would lay bare the truth. And once she heard the answer, a strong wind blew as if to carry her away her thoughts, and she closed her eyes for a moment. And when she opened them, she heard the sound of a rusty door opening. Non? Her lips twisted when she heard her say it. Non, huh? It made her mad to hear herself called that. She felt heat rising from the bottom of her stomach. It was time to begin. I'm really sorry to bring you out here. Hey, Inoue? Non? Did she realise that Kurizu was using a different name? Or did she sense something instinctively? Serika repeated herself, this time with a suspicious look on her face. She tried to get closer, but a glance from Kurizu stopped her. Serika froze. Answer me. Was it you? Was what me? Answer me. Kurizu repeats the words to her former best friend, the one person outside her family that she called by first name. But Serika's expression didn't change. It was the same face Kurizu knew so well. The same look as when Serika bought a crepe and was wondering what was inside. Thinking back, the two of them went shopping together all the time. Inoue had insisted that she looked fine without makeup, and Kurizu had insisted on buying her some anyway. It had been a lot of fun. And they were always together in the club. She'd argued against Takuru's reckless plans and stopped Kazuki from pounding the walls, and the two of them had always been amazed at the stupid things Ito said. But they'd always been laughing together. But you were there at the scene of the first crime, weren't you? I don't know what you're talking about, Non. Where is this coming from? There was a sound in the video, a sound I knew well. In the Don't Look At Me video, she'd heard the strange sound that Serika's Gero Froggy made. Serika had a bad habit of unconsciously fiddling with it whenever she was focusing on something. Kurizu took a step forward to stop herself from falling over, and glared at Serika with a challenge in her eyes. That's right. Kurizu was glaring at Serika. Oh, wait, Non! I said answer me. Serika staggered back at the sound of her loud footsteps. Finally, her expression changed. There was fear in it. Yui isn't part of my family anymore. She's dead. She's not coming back. Why? Why did you do that? Serika stayed quiet, that terrified expression still on her face. Was she really terrified by Kurizu? Was she trying to fool her? Or... Kurizu took another step forward. On that day 8 years ago, did you really go down into the hospital basement? Were you really there with Takuru? You can't answer me, can you? Because you weren't there. I know that better than anyone. So who are you? Kuruzu's question was something she'd wondered about ever since Noe had said she'd gone into that basement with him. It was the one last thing she'd been unsure of, which she kept quiet about to protect her own secret. Until a little while ago, it seemed like it didn't matter. She was willing to go a whole life without finding out, because Serika Onoe was someone she loved. But now... Tell me, who are you? But Serika said nothing, not a word. Did she really not know anything? The thought crossed her mind for a moment, but she quickly kicked it away. That was just what she wanted to believe. She'd had suspicions about Serika for a long time, but she ignored them because she was too afraid to ask, and the result of that had been Yui's death. Kuruzu raised her hands and brought them together as if offering up a prayer. In the next moment... Oh, okay, well now she's psychic. I didn't even know. She brought them down, hard and straight, as if swinging a sword. Serika moved back just a little. Her movement might have looked like pure reflex, but Kuruzu didn't miss it. Which meant... So I was right, huh? That was the answer to everything. So that was it, huh? Serika's face became blank and expressionless. She didn't frown or sigh at her own failure. Her manner became that of a beautiful doll. Serika. She was right. She'd been ready for it, but she still couldn't help but cry. She tried to stop herself. She grit her teeth, but Serika's gaze wasn't fixed on her anymore. She stood, legs apart, as if judging the distance between herself and the thing in seemingly empty space between them. There's no question. She saw it. And now it was Serika's turn to look into her eyes. Her eyes were different than Kuruzu had ever seen before. It was as if they saw everything. No, that's not right. Suddenly Kuruzu knew. It wasn't just a smile. Her eyes did see everything. That was it. That was telepathy. Fucking hell, words are hard. A terrible twisted power which exposed all of your most treasured secrets. She heard the sound of herself clenching her jaw. Then she forgot the tears and turned herself over to the rage that was boiling within her. It had been 6 years since she'd rebooted it, and it was almost sad how easily it came into her hands. The Dai Sword. A monstrous blade that only those with the power to make delusions real could wield. She refused to look away from the light that she'd never wanted to see again, and she pointed the blade at her opponent. You were the one who was using Senri Minami-sawa, weren't you? I don't want to hear that from you, no Kuruzu. Her voice made Kuruzu shiver. And a blade even more wicked than her voice appeared in Serika's hands, opening like a blooming, poisonous flower. It was beautiful. For a moment she was blinded by the beauty of the weapon. She forgot that it threatened to cut into her soft flesh. Serika leapt off the ground. The distance between them was closed in an instant. Kuruzu brought down her own sword as hard as she could, without even time to follow her movements. And as she screamed, she could hear her voice. By the time she realised she was talking to Takuru, it was already too late. The light flashed in front of her as if driving the thought from her mind. Why Serika? The same thought kept going through my head like I was an idiot. I couldn't think. Why? What was she doing at a murder scene? Damn it. The saliva caught my throat as I moaned in pain. It took a lot of effort to keep myself from falling over. Damn it. I didn't have time to waste here. Huh? I stopped as I heard a sound. I was in front of a familiar place, but it wasn't the one I'd been coming to. It was on my way from Albadom to Serika's condo in Dakianma. What was that? I saw something strange in the corner of my eye and looked up at the school building. The school at night was an imposing sight, and on top, I could see a feeble light, like a fluorescent bulb that was about to burn out. Game? Okay, there we go. I started to run, dragging my feet forward as I went. I raced up the stairs to the building without even bothering to take off my shoes. The lights in the yard illuminated my face with a certain rhythm as I ran. But that light was something different. A strange, dull light. It was alive, a die sword. D-sword, however they say it. I made it to the roof of the stairs and slammed straight into the door. I yanked it open, trying my best not to think about what I'd find beyond. The first thing I saw wasn't the light of the die sword, but the red. My heart beat loudly once, and then all was silence. I didn't feel anything at all. It was as if I'd totally frozen at what I'd seen. She was lying on the ground in front of me. Her clothes were red. Oh, for fuck's sake. Someone was in front of her, looking over the shoulder at me. No, not someone. I knew her. But she looked different than I'd ever seen her before. And the deadly weapon in her hands made me shiver. And that weapon was deeply, deeply... A strong wind blew towards the open door. It was as if someone was trying to push me back in. As if they were trying to get me away from the threat in front of me. She'll kill you too. Run away now. Was the voice I heard an illusion? Or was it the person I cared about? Suddenly, all sound disappeared. My head hurt like hell. I ignored it. All the doubts I'd had, all the feelings I had told me it was a lie. I left them all behind me. Behind? It was only when I realised the distance between us was closing rapidly that I realised I'd started running. A meaningless scream poured from my throat. I could tell from the way my throat was vibrating, but I couldn't hear sound at all. I kept running, but everything seemed to be passing by in slow motion. I felt pulsing in my brain. My hand reached out and nothing at all. Until now, I'd never been able to touch it. But now I could grab it easily. What was I touching? What was I holding? Some fragment of useless rationality was still within me, asking me these stupid questions. I was holding the thing that was going to slice her apart. My own delusions made manifest, that doesn't seem to make sense to me, but made manifest by real booting. A twisted blade that weighed nothing at all. When I swung the die sword, it was more than close enough to hit her. She'd already turned around and raised the die sword up from below. Why did she have a sword too? I didn't know. But before I could think about it, I brought down my weapon with all my strength. Serica blocked it without making a sound. No, that wasn't right. My dice would stop before she could block it. Right before it would hit her. What's wrong? I heard a voice I'd never heard before. I saw a look I'd never seen before. I couldn't move. She hadn't done anything to me. There was no mind control. I was the one in control. But my hands had stopped, as if they'd struck an invisible wall. Why? Why? You're not going to come? Why couldn't I move? Why wouldn't my arms... my legs? My feelings caught up to me. My reason came back. And my heart finally started to scream. This can't be happening, it can't. Why would Serica do this? It can't be real. The pounding headache I'd forgotten had come back, and I fell to my knees. My head that felt like it was going to split. I grabbed it with both hands. At some point my die sword had disappeared. The will that I tried to strike Serica with was already gone. I dug my nails in and closed my eyes. I could feel the veins in my forehead with my hands. I felt something sticky on my knees. And I smelled a mild perfume. It was the same as before, when my little sister had been killed and ripped apart. Again, this is happening again? It was the blood of someone who was every bit as important to me as my little sister, Nono Kuruzu. Who had done this? Who had come at her with a blade and cold eyes? No, I'm telling you, it can't be Inoue. I tried to use my rage to drive her all away, but I couldn't. Kuruzu? I heard a wordless voice. I forced my eyes to open. Huh? Serika was already gone. I looked around with blurry eyes, but there was no light from the dice sword, no sign of her at all. I crawled over to Kuruzu. Kuruzu? She was crying. Big tears fell silently from her under eyes. Her chest was stained red, and each time she breathed, more blood came out. I pushed my hand up against her wounds. It was the first time in my life I touched a girl's chest. It was so soft, but the dark, sticky liquid kept pouring out and stained my hands red. Somebody! Somebody! I don't know what to do at a time like this. How can I save her? She was going to suffocate. She started to cough up my hand behind her head and quickly turned it to the side. Blood poured forth from her mouth and fell onto the ground. Taku. Don't talk, it's okay, it's okay. I tried my best to hold the wound closed. Okay? How is this okay? She was bleeding so much. She was in so much pain. Takuru. I told you not to talk. Kuruzu's face twisted and she started to cry again. And then... Huh? She suddenly grabbed the hand that was on her chest. And her grip was so weak. In that moment I felt an indescribable chill in my heart. Come on, grab tighter. Be stronger. It's like you're going to die. Her breathing was getting so shallow that she couldn't speak. But she tried to grab my hand and bring it to her head. No, I need to keep the wound closed. But it looked like she shook her head just a little. And then she slowly brought my hand to her face. And put it on her lips. Put it to her lips even. The red from my fingers clung to her purple lips and shone like beautiful gloss. No. The sensation on my fingers was just soft but terribly cold. And then I knew. Yeah, she was going to die after all. No, that can't happen. It can't. Oh, I'm sorry. Her hands moved away from mine and fell to the ground. No. The name fell from my lips. It was the first time I said it in half a year. Come on, no. It was the name of my big sister who'd always protected me. Wake up, no. I lifted her up and held her tightly in my arms. She didn't move at all. Why? How can this be happening? Come on, no. I called her name again and again, knowing that from now on she would never answer me. At some point, midnight passed, and it was November 4th. The last of the Return of the New Generation Madness murders had occurred right before my eyes. We just received an extremely unusual announcement from the police. It is a warrant for the arrest of a minor, issued under their real name. The announcement says that as of 2:30 AM today, November 4th, the police have issued a warrant for a person interested in the series of murders that occurred in Shibuya Ward, Tokyo. It's a national arrest warrant for Takuru Miyashiro, a third-year student at Heikyo Academy. I repeat. What? I'm gonna end the episode here, because I'm really fucking confused. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below. Want to see more of this, and do subscribe to the channel, as I upload every day. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.